I was born in Saudi Arabia, grew up in Morocco, and moved to Canada in 2005. I first settled in Montreal, where I lived for 9 years. 2 years ago, I relocated to Toronto. At first, it seemed so much bigger, so impersonal, hectic, even threatening. Soon enough, I began to rehearse absurd self-defense techniques, just in case I needed them during my daily commutes on public transit. Here's one scenario in reaction. Someone grabs my bag and starts running. I run after them and scream, "The only thing worth anything in there is my permanent residency card, and if I have to renew it, it's going to be a bureaucratic nightmare. But you can have the cigarette pack and the strawberry-scented hand cream." I was constantly on edge. Then one day, as I was changing streetcars, I heard someone yell, "Go home." I'm a visible minority, a Muslim, and my immediate reaction was to assume that I was being singled out. With rising anger, I prepared to scream back, "You go home and read the Charter of Rights and Freedoms," but realized it was just one traffic controller yelling affectionately at another whose shift had just ended. More recently, something unusual happened. I stepped onto a packed subway train at the end of a long day and sat down. I must have seemed exhausted, because suddenly, the young woman next to me gestured for me to take off my earphones, which I typically wear on the subway precisely so I can avoid speaking to anyone. Assuming the worst, my first thought was, what? She wore freshly applied lipstick. Her brown curls fell gently around her face, and her eyes were soft. She said, "You know, you can relax your shoulders. It's really okay if you rest a bit against me if you need to." I didn't know what to say. I managed to thank you and resisted the urge to hug her, and gradually allowed my shoulders to relax and rest against hers. We didn't say much else, and we didn't become friends. But being able to trust a random stranger in a big city, if only for a few minutes, felt good and safe. When the train pulled into her stop, she turned to me to signal her departure and stood up. She looked at me one last time, smiled, and said, "Take care." I replied with a very enthusiastic, "You too." For the rest of my commute, I sat there with a mixture of bewilderment and warmth. I later related the incident to my boyfriend, a bona fide cynic. His response was filled with suspicion. "Wait, I don't understand. What did she want from you?" "Nothing, it seems." That was the beauty of it. And since then, I've been trying to be better. I've been trying to have a little more patience and faith. So if someday we end up sitting next to each other, and I breach your bubble by offering you my shoulder because it looks like you need it, try not to say, "What?"